Night slowly settles over the ancient city of Alexandria. The air is calm and warm as the final glow of the setting sun fades behind the Mediterranean Sea. Soft lantern light begins to flicker along the busy streets, where merchants close their stalls and travelers quietly make their way home. The great city, once loud and bustling, slowly becomes peaceful as darkness gently spreads across the stone buildings and narrow roads. In the distance stands one of the greatest wonders of the ancient world, the legendary Library of Alexandria. Its towering columns rise proudly beneath the quiet night sky. Inside those walls rests an unimaginable collection of knowledge, thousands upon thousands of scrolls gathered from across the known world. Scholars from distant lands have traveled here for generations, seeking wisdom and sharing ideas. Within these walls, knowledge flows like a great river. The library is more than just a building filled with scrolls. It is a meeting place for philosophers, mathematicians, astronomers, and historians. Tonight, as the city sleeps peacefully outside, the scholars inside continue their quiet work, unaware that history is slowly moving toward a night that will never be forgotten. Inside the grand halls of the library, tall marble columns stretch upward toward a high ceiling decorated with carved stone patterns. Shelves filled with carefully rolled papyrus scrolls line the walls from floor to ceiling. Oil lamps burn softly, casting a golden glow over long wooden tables where scholars sit quietly reading and writing. Some scholars copy ancient texts by hand, slowly and carefully transferring words from fragile scrolls onto fresh papyrus sheets. Others discuss philosophy in soft voices, debating ideas about the stars, the earth, and the nature of the universe. In this place, knowledge from Egypt, Greece, Persia, and distant lands comes together. Each scroll represents a piece of human understanding. Mathematics, medicine, astronomy, poetry, and history are all preserved here. The scholars treat these scrolls with deep respect, knowing that the library holds knowledge that may never exist anywhere else. It is a treasure not made of gold, but of wisdom. Many of the scholars who live and work within the great Library of Alexandria have traveled incredible distances to reach this place. Some come from the cities of Greece, others from across Egypt, and many from lands even farther away. They arrive by ship and caravan carrying scrolls filled with poetry, philosophy, medicine, and mathematics, hoping their knowledge will become part of the library's growing collection. These scholars are welcomed into the library as honored guests. In exchange for sharing their writings and discoveries, they are given food, shelter, and access to the greatest collection of knowledge the world has ever seen. Days and nights are spent studying ancient scrolls, copying texts by hand, and discussing ideas that may shape the future of human understanding. Within the quiet halls of the library, conversations drift softly through the air. Some scholars debate the movement of the stars, while others study the mysteries of medicine and the human body. To them, the library is more than a building. It is a living center of discovery where minds from many cultures meet to share ideas and explore the secrets of the world. Alexandria's busy harbor is one of the most important gateways of the ancient world. Ships arrive daily from distant lands, carrying spices, precious goods, travelers, and sometimes something far more valuable than gold. They bring written knowledge, scrolls carefully stored inside wooden chests, containing stories, science, and history gathered from across the world. Whenever a ship arrives in Alexandria, officials carefully inspect the cargo for written works. If scrolls are discovered, they are temporarily taken to the great library. Skilled scribes begin the slow process of copying every word onto fresh papyrus. The copies are then returned to the travelers, while the original texts are preserved within the growing collection of the library. Because of this unique system, knowledge flows constantly into Alexandria like a river. Over the years, the library becomes home to an incredible collection of writings from Greece, Egypt, Persia, India, and beyond. It is said that hundreds of thousands of scrolls eventually fill the vast halls, creating the greatest center of learning the world has ever known. As evening slowly turns to night, the city of Alexandria begins to grow quiet. The noise of the busy markets fades away, and lanterns flicker softly along the narrow streets. In the distance, the sound of gentle waves against the harbor can be heard as the great city prepares for rest beneath the calm night sky. Inside the library, the scholars continue their work beneath the warm glow of oil lamps. Some carefully copy ancient writings, ensuring that fragile scrolls survive for future generations. Others sit quietly, reading texts written hundreds of years before, studying the ideas of thinkers who lived in distant lands and distant times. The atmosphere inside the library is calm and focused. Soft footsteps echo through the long corridors, while the quiet turning of papyrus scrolls fills the silence. Few places in the world hold such peaceful dedication to knowledge. Tonight, as always, the library remains a sanctuary for learning beneath the quiet stars. Yet beyond the peaceful walls of the library, the world outside is rarely so calm. News travels slowly through the streets of Alexandria, carried by sailors, merchants, and travelers. Recently, whispers of political conflict and distant battles have begun spreading through the city, reminding everyone that peace can sometimes be fragile. Powerful leaders compete for control of territories and influence across the ancient world. Armies march across distant lands, and alliances shift like desert sands. Alexandria, with its wealth, knowledge, and strategic location, often finds itself connected to these struggles even when its scholars seek only quiet study. For the moment, life inside the library continues as it always has. The scholars focus on their work, believing the walls of the great building will protect the knowledge stored within. Few of them imagine that events unfolding outside the city may soon threaten everything they have worked to preserve. Late into the night, something unusual begins to appear along the distant horizon. At first, it seems like nothing more than the glow of torches or fires burning along the harbor. From the steps of the library, a few scholars pause and look out across the sleeping city toward the flickering light. But slowly the glow grows brighter. Smoke begins to rise into the dark sky above the city, carried upward by the night air. The calm silence that once filled the streets begins to change as distant shouts echo across the rooftops of Alexandria. Concern spreads quietly among the scholars who step outside to watch the growing flames. None of them yet realize that the fire spreading through the city may soon threaten the greatest store of knowledge the ancient world has ever known. Soon the smell of smoke drifts through the air surrounding the library. Messengers rush through the streets, shouting warnings as flames begin to spread through parts of the city. The once peaceful night is replaced with growing confusion and fear. Inside the library, scholars quickly begin gathering scrolls from the shelves. Some attempt to carry precious texts away from the building, hoping to save even a small part of the knowledge stored within its walls. The atmosphere inside the library changes rapidly. Where there was once quiet study and calm conversation, there is now urgency and fear as scholars struggle to protect centuries of wisdom. As the fire spreads through the city, flames begin to reach the outer buildings surrounding the library. Bright orange light reflects against the tall stone columns that once stood quietly beneath the night sky. Inside the halls, smoke thickens as shelves filled with scrolls begin to catch fire. Papyrus burns quickly, and the knowledge written upon those fragile pages disappears into ash. The scholars watch helplessly as centuries of learning vanish in the growing flames. Ideas, discoveries, and histories that may never be written again are slowly lost to the fire. By morning, the once magnificent library stands silent beneath the rising sun. Smoke drifts slowly upward from the ruins as the city of Alexandria awakens to the devastation left behind. The loss cannot truly be measured. Thousands of scrolls containing the thoughts of ancient scholars are gone forever, their knowledge scattered like ashes carried by the wind. Even today, historians still wonder what discoveries may have been hidden within those lost writings. The burning of the Library of Alexandria remains one of the greatest mysteries and tragedies in the history of human knowledge.